Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Crash Landing. So I've been doing a lot of work on the base area here around where the smelters are, and we're going to be doing a bunch of work down here. Now, one of the things that I have done is to move the lava pipes underneath the ground, but this hole in the ground really looks bad. So I want to be able to put something in here to fill this in, but we have to be really careful about what we do there because microblocks can cut pipes in half. So what we do with that is we take a bunch of slabs or something and we can make those into a hollow slab. Now with that we can take and slice it into panels and then finally hollow covers, and this will allow us to place a block that will cover most of the ground here. So what we do now is we place this here and it makes it look much better. There's now a hole that the items come through from the ground. So that is kind of nice. It really looks neat and it makes it appear that the pipes are actually running through something. But so we have our automatic lava production, we have our automatic cobble production, and what I want to do now is set up the ore processing over here on this side. So what I need to do is gather up all of the stuff that is used in the ore processing and bring it down there. So we have our auto packager, we have our automatic sifter, we have all of the barrels that have our sands in them, or dusts, and we're going to try to get all of this moved down there today. So I'm going to go ahead and break all of this out and take it down there, and then we'll take a look at what I'm going to actually be doing down there. Well, everything is moved down here, and I think I've got enough stuff to do this. So we're going to set up our auto sieving system. Oh, and I just remembered, we only have one sieve. That's not going to work. Okay, well, we need to make a couple more sieves. Not a big problem. We need 18 string per sieve, so we'll just grab a whole bunch there. Not going to worry about that. So I think it's 9 string per mesh. Yes. And we need 8 more mesh, so there we go. Let's go ahead and pull all that excess string back out of there. There we go. And now we need some planks and sticks so that we can make these guys, and we'll make these guys jungle sieves instead of the oak sieves that we have there. So the recipe on this, the recipe on this is planks. Yeah, okay. So we need our planks, we need sticks, and then we need our mesh. There we go. So we have 5 sieves now, and I suppose eventually I'll make the one out of jungle also. So now what we need is to set all this stuff up. So we're going to set it up right here, and to start out with, we're going to place our inventory relay on the bottom facing up. Now what this will do is it will take items that are put into it and automatically move them. So it's just like a dropper without the redstone to operate it. So into these guys we are going to face a series of hoppers. So this hopper will feed the inventory relay. Now on top of the inventory relay we are going to set a block gate. Now the block gate will toss the items out, same as a dropper, just without having the redstone signal again. So this makes a continuous loop cycle. The items go around and around and around on this, and they eventually get used up because what happens is they go into these guys. And I suppose we'll just lay some inventory cables down here just so that we have something to put these on. So then what we do is we place our sieves across the front of them. So this is now actually an automated sieving system by itself. So the items that are popping out of the block gate not only get placed into the sieve, but they also trigger the sieve And so we have a continuous cycle of sieving. Now, to feed this system, we are going to take a series of item ducts and place them across the front of this. And I think for now I am going to just go ahead and take one of my barrels of items here. Let's take dust to start out with. So if we take dust and place it here, then also we need a pneumatic servo. We're going to place a pneumatic servo on this guy. We're going to set redstone to ignore. And then we are going to grab our wrench. Where is that at? Right there. And this will automatically start running in here, and we'll start to see items cycling through. So this is now a bit of a problem because the items start popping out on top. So to solve that, we use the item valves. Now the item valves, we don't need as many of them as I have, but what we can do is place them up here, and they will start gathering items once there's somewhere for them to place it. So now what we're going to do is grab a couple more hoppers, and we will place these guys underneath the item valves. So we're going to place one here, facing that direction, one that way, and immediately we will see a lot of the items getting sucked up, and we're going to place one there. So now all of the items that are not the dust, and we can see there's just a couple items that made it into the system that shouldn't have. But now what we'll end up with is a whole bunch of stuff cycling around here. So we've got to get through here and grab all the items out of here that are not supposed to be in the system, since we did it in the wrong sequence. Oh wait, those guys are pooping items out. We don't want that. Yeah, because there's nowhere for them to go. Okay, well, let's go ahead and just break these guys for the moment. And really, this is a problem because now I have no way of shutting this back off. Oh god, what a mess. Okay, so now we need somewhere for all of these items to go. So let's go ahead and grab our excavator, which has had a couple of levels of improvement on it. And I added vacuous to it, which means that it sucks up all items around it. So I am now pulling in all of those items myself, which is a good thing and a bad thing all at the same time. So we're just going to dig this back a little bit, eat a little bit of food, and now we are going to grab the diamond chest that we had our items in. So if we place this here, now we can have all of our items going in here just like they should be. Now the speed at which this thing will sieve items is phenomenal. So yeah, we do have to get this taken care of almost immediately. So let's go ahead and place our item valves back down on top of these, and I think I'm actually going to face them, I want to face them down if I can, but I think this should work just fine. So now we should have only the items that we want going in here. Got a little bit of dust in there already. But we should have only the items that we want going in here. And yes, that is a problem. Those things are going to be throwing stuff downward. So, or outward. So we need to place a block on top of these guys. And then we need to get underneath them to place the blocks back down. Okay, so where did all of our blocks go? There they are. Alright, item valve facing down, and that will keep it from throwing the items out into the world. We'll remove these guys. We should have them in here. Okay, there we go. So this system is now functioning. We have our automatic sieving, and all that we need to do now is get this set up to where it is going through the auto packager. So I've got a few more things to do here. I've got, oh, and we have a vacuum hopper up here that's trying to pick stuff up. But yeah, I got to get the auto packager set up. I've got to clear a space for it, and then I'll be back. Well, I got a little bit more stuff set up here, and I went ahead and put a glass ceiling on this room because I really like the look of that thing, and I want to be able to see it running from time to time. So that is pretty cool. Now, here on the back at the moment, I have a temporary setup for just processing this stuff into the gravel and sands and dusts and things like that, but we are going to be changing that. So I did a little experimenting and tried the block gates, and I found out that what happens with them, first off, if we take a little bit of an ore sand or ore gravel, and gotta have a hopper to fill this. So if we have an ore gravel and put it in here, it will place it down and then just keep on dumping it out. So we can't do that. So what we are going to have to do, because I want to use these to put the items out for the autonomous activators to smash, we need to use an actual inventory manager. So the inventory manager will also make it to where we don't have to use these hoppers. So that is kind of nice. So we're going to set the inventory manager down here somewhere. We're only going to have 3 of the autonomous activators. So I suppose placing this right about here should be fine. We'll go right in that spot right there. Okay, so then we need inventory cables coming off of this thing. So the inventory cables will connect all of our items together, and then we need these guys sitting out in front of it. And then we need the autonomous activators facing the other direction. So that will get all of that stuff taken care of. Now the other thing that we need to do here is we need to set all of these autonomous activators to allow input from the top. This will allow us to put the hammers into them. And for now, we do have some hammers. But what we have now is the actual setup. So what we're going to do, just to test this out, we're going to grab a chest. I think I have a bunch of them over here. No, they must be in my tools bag. And yes, I made another golden bag of holding, one to take my tools, and yep, there's the chest. Alright, so we will place down a chest here, and we're going to place an iron gravel in there. So now what we need to do is we need to create a trigger. So this is going to be what's going to set off the system. We are going to set our interval at 2 seconds, because I believe that an autonomous activator can break a gravel in that much time. And we are going to go on interval for the connection. Next, we are going to create an input, and our input is going to be from the chest. And you'll notice the chest is available here because it is touching an inventory cable. So any inventory that is touching an inventory cable will show up here. So we're going to have our inventory set to the chest. We are going to set our target down. It doesn't matter what the target is, even though there is certain blocks that we may want that. Like for instance, when we move on to these autonomous activators, which I don't have enough cables for, we are going to want to set the target to up, and then it will place the items into the autonomous activators. But so let's continue on here. Then we want the items, and what we want to do is we want to blacklist nothing. This will allow it to pull any items that are placed into this chest. So next up, we are going to create an output. And our output, and I guess on our input here, we need to go in here. No, being that we are blacklisting nothing, ooh, this could be interesting. Well, we'll find out if it'll work. So our inventory is going to be the block gate, and our target is going to be down. Doesn't matter again. Items, we are going to blacklist nothing. So now what we'll do is we will connect these guys together. And we should see, oh, okay, so that's kind of what I was afraid of. We are going to be pulling entire stacks out. Okay, so we also have to set these guys up. That way they automatically place the items out onto the ground instead of dropping the stack. So then we will also set this guy to left click, and that created a little bit of gravel. Now, let's see here. Can we do an item valve? Let's just go ahead and do this. Actually, that's not going to work. Let's grab another chest. We'll place this chest here. We're going to place the hopper into it and place an item valve. We'll go up a little bit and then place that there so that we can face this guy down like he's supposed to be. Alright, can we get it? Nope. Let's try that again. We'll have to go down a block. There we go. There, now it's facing the right way. Okay. So now we can place our limestone back in here. Now this thing should go. Now the issue is it's going to try to place out more than one. So that works fine, but if we place out a stack, it's going to pick up a whole bunch of them, and so the stack will end up over here. And that is more than a little bit of a problem. So we may also want to use a vacuum hopper here instead of the other. Okay, well, that's easy enough to do. We have vacuum hoppers in our tools bag. So let's go ahead and grab a vacuum hopper here. We will set this to output to that side. So now if we place down the stack, it will immediately pick up the entire thing and toss it in here. Okay, so we need to set this up to allow only an input of one item. Is there a way that we can do that? Without having an item, I don't think we can. No. Well, let's see. No, and we can't do anything here either. That is a little bit of a problem. Well, let me see what I can figure out on this, because this is definitely how I want to do this, but I've got to make sure that it works correctly. So let me see what I can figure out, and I'll be right back. Well, I think I've kind of got this figured out, and it was something that I was not wanting to have to do. On the input, I have whitelisted each of the gravels and sands, and if you right click on those, you can specify the amount and specify 1. So to test this out right now, I only have this center one hooked up, and so I can place all of these different ores in here, and actually I could place any of it in there, but it will only place them out one at a time, and it will start at the beginning of the chest and just work its way through, pulling one item at a time. So I could also dump in these iron ingots, and we'll see that it will just ignore them. So anything that goes into this chest that is not meant to be there will be totally ignored. Now this vacuum hopper works for testing, but it will not work afterwards, because I had this block gate place a block out, and then the the crushed ores from the middle one could not get to the vacuum hopper. But we are going to want to be setting this thing up with auto crafting for the hammers, and then also we need to cycle these back around to have them auto packaged again, and the ore sands, which we are getting here, can be reprocessed through the crushing system. So we do have a lot of work to do to get this thing fully functional still, but it's well on its way. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep working on this. Like I said, I've got to duplicate this input again, and then the outputs here for the other two block gates, so that we can have those being placed out. But the crafting part, gonna have to make sure that we have access to the various materials that are needed, logs and cobblestone, and then that they can get into there. Now the problem with that is we need a lot of iron for that. Now I did run some iron through this thing, but it's not going to be that much considering that for 8 inventory cables we need 6 iron. So, and a lot of these blocks for Steve's require inventory cables. But I do have a lot of stuff to work on, and I think I'm going to try to get that done between episodes because I'm out of time for today. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or something that you'd like to see me work on, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye!